Hi everyone, here again, bringing something for you, something I hope to encourage you during this time of hardship, during this time of many things going on right now with the coronavirus. So I just want to share with you something that was encouraging for me, and it's been encouraging for me in these times, where we're not able to see the people we love, our friends, our family. uh, we have to stay at home. Thankfully, we can go outside and walk and do exercise, and the different things that can help us during this time, not feeling just very just stuck in our houses. But today, I just want to share with you one verse initially, and I hope that with this verse, it will encourage you to read 2 or 3 chapters from John. And you're going to see why in a moment. But the first verse that I want to read to you, which is kind of like the base verse, it's in John 16:33. I'm going to read it for you. It says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So that comes from John 16:33. And it comes this passage. He says, you see the way it starts. I have told you these things. Why, when we see these things, what it's referring to? It refers to everything that Jesus said that night. If you go back to John 13, is when Jesus has the Passover meal, the Thursday before Good Friday, before his death. So they're having the meal in John 13. And then everything starts more in John 14, all the things that he refers to. So it starts in John 14. And you can see, right away, probably you're in your mind, what's happening in John 14, 15, 16, right? John 14, we have the promise of the Holy Spirit. Also, when Jesus declares He is the way, the truth, the life. John 15, He is the vine, we're the branches. We need to remind in Him. And it's just as the John 16 is the work of the Holy Spirit, and then He's encouraging us through, or encouraging the disciples through all these verses, because He knows what is going to happen. He knows the disciples are going to have trouble. There's going to be persecution. There's going to be many things that are going to keep they're probably going to bring to the disciples, some discourage, some anxiety, so many things that are going to, probably things afraid. They're going to be afraid, maybe, So he started telling all these things to the disciples so that they could find peace. And that's what is important. Also, like to go to John 14, because it's kind of like the same. And I'm going to go there. It's kind of like the same idea. See how he repeats this. The same idea of peace. This is in John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not like the world gives. I'm sorry. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and not be afraid. So we have again this truth. Jesus is bringing this peace to us. Is giving us that peace. When did we have that peace initially? When we believe in Him. That's the peace He's offering us initially, right? That peace of His salvation. But then also that peace that is constantly can be with us. It's a peace that He offers us all the time. And in a peace that we can only have in Him. See, that's why He says, not like the world. I do not give to you as the world gives. Can we find places? Can we find things that give us peace here? Is there things or anything that we can? Yes, there's many things in this world that can help us to have that peace. Just like right now, there are so many things going on right now. It's not persecution. It's not what the disciples were happening or what was going on back then. But it's also, it's something that's going on that can bring us, anxiety and hardship, trouble in our lives, that can take away that peace that Jesus is giving us, or that Jesus is offering us. And we're doing things that help us, maybe, to have that peace, to relax, to not be anxious. But also, we need to remember that there's no one else that can give us the peace that Jesus gives us, or that Jesus offered us. And this is a great moment also, to remember sharing that peace to others, to the people who don't know Jesus. We know Jesus, we know about that hope, we have His salvation. Well, this is a great time that we can have to share to others this peace, this salvation that Jesus offers. So this is, even though, like I say, this is something that we're not, it doesn't have to be with the context that Jesus is telling there. Um, but it is a great reminded for us that in Jesus we have the peace. And that's why, when He says these things, John 14, 15, 16, we can find great truths. We can find some amazing truths from Jesus, that if we take it in our heart, that we believe them, that we trust in those things, will bring us peace in all this time. So that's my encouragement for you today, that in these verses, remember that Jesus give us the peace. And that's what it says, take heart. Jesus overcome the world. There's nothing in this world, that Jesus hasn't overcome. And then we have Him. And He's giving us that peace during this time. So that's my encouragement, that in Jesus you may find peace. And these truths from John 14 to 16, that you might find peace. And also encourage you to share that with the people who don't know Jesus, to the people who feel right now hopeless, to the people who feel, that there's nothing, that have anxiety, that are depressing, that they might think, what is going to happen, they have lost, maybe for the people who have lost people, or families, or people they love. But in Jesus we can have that peace, and only Him can give us that peace, can give us that salvation, and can give us that hope.